Help me, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch. I am gonna go get that bag, and I am not gonna take your shit. I am protected, well respected. I am me, I'm a dream. I do what I wanna do.
Hey loves, and as you guys can see by the title below, I'm going to be telling you guys all about my COVID experience. And I feel like a lot of people are not taking it as serious as it is. And I wanted to get on here and personally tell my experience to you guys, and maybe you guys can share this video with your family, friends, or anyone who you feel may need to watch this video, because it is definitely a serious video. Also, I just recently filmed the what I got for my birthday video finally. And excuse me, I still have the coughs and all the other stuff. I'm not fully 100% yet, but girl, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I just recently filmed a what I got for my birthday video. It is over an hour long, so definitely if it hasn't been, you know what, it's not gonna be posted yet. So definitely subscribe, turn your notification bell so you guys can check that video out. And I also just recently uploaded a vlog. You guys know I'm not a vlogger. And it almost has 100K views. So I definitely appreciate you guys for that. I love you guys so much. You guys know I fucks with y'all. So without further ado, I just want to go ahead and tell you guys my experience. I don't want this video to be too long. If I sound stuffy, and it's like I can't breathe, but I'm breathing clearly as I'm talking to you guys, it's because of the COVID. I'm still getting over it. I think I'm about maybe almost 2 weeks from having COVID. So in the beginning, my son originally had the COVID. He sent me a text one day and was like, I'm not feeling well. Can you come pick me up from school? So I took him to go get a COVID test because my son is never sick. He's athletic. You guys know he plays football. He exercises. He keeps his mask on all the time. Unless he's playing football. They don't wear masks when they are practicing at football practice. Because for one, it's literally over 100 degrees. They literally will fall out there. So they don't require them to wear masks. They require them to wear masks at the school, but they're not required to wear masks when they're playing football. And that's how he caught it. He caught it from one of his football players, one of his friends on the football team. That's how he caught it. I have been very, very careful. I was very, very careful. I never thought I was going to catch it. I don't know why I thought, girl, you're invisible. But you're never thinking you're gonna catch it. You see it on the news. It is real. Got out of school, I took him immediately to one of the places, which I took him to like an emergency COVID, where you can get the rapid test immediately within like 15 minutes. It was very, very quick. So because I'm, with him and I feel like he got it, something in my soul said, he got it because he's never sick. As a mom, you know your kids, and I just immediately knew he had it. I just didn't tell him, I know you got it. I wanted them to tell him that he had it because I'm not a doctor, but I know my son and I know my children. Never sick. So we get to the clinic and it was around almost 2 o'clock, and they stopped seeing people at 2 o'clock. So it was like you had to come back at 2:30. In the midst of us waiting, it's like a little pharmacy next door. And I just went in there and was just grabbing everything that I think that he would need. Like NyQuil, Theraflu, Vicks Vapor Rub, more of the immune support, stuff that we were taking because we take stuff daily with vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, turmeric. We take a lot of stuff, to help prevent with the COVID. Like we get B12 shots. We do a lot. So that's why I kind of figured we would never get it, but clearly that's not the case. And for everybody out there that's thinking you're invisible like I thought I was, or my son, and think that you can't get it, think again. We waited to 2:30 after I went and purchased all that stuff. I actually started to just give him stuff right then. I had him taking stuff right then. As soon as I bought it, I just was like, you know what? If you know, how you feeling, da da da. You know, he was just saying he felt a little sick. He couldn't really explain exactly what. He just felt like a little dizzy. He had a headache, and he was feeling a little fatigued, like very nauseous, like he had to throw up. A little warm, so I just was getting stuff for fever. I was just getting, girl, I spent almost $200 in that little pharmacy because I wanted to get everything that I thought that he even needed. I remember we were waiting, and it was a lot of people in there. When 2:30 came, a lot of people was coming in there. And I got a little nervous because I was like, ooh, I'm in here, you know, I don't mind being in here with my son, but now I'm gonna be in here with a lot of people who possibly could have the COVID. Um, because during the COVID time when it first came out, I stopped going to the stores. I was having stuff delivered to our home, groceries delivered to our home, cleaning supplies delivered to our home, masks delivered to our home, Lysol, Pine Sol, cleaning supplies delivered to our home. So I wasn't out like a lot of people was out in the club and stuff like that. Like all of that was a no-no for me. Like it completely stopped. It's like you can start going to, like, I think Walmart had it where they can, like, so many people could enter the store, then we would start go there because you could only have, like, I think 30 people in the store at the time. So I was like, okay with that. Other than that, we were pretty safe. At least I thought. Maybe like 30 minutes we were waiting. I had set an appointment when I came the first time, and we had to come back at 2:30. We got in there pretty quickly. He told them his, like, little symptoms. They ran some other tests, and then I was like, okay, well, I think he needs to take the COVID test just to be sure. She was like, I don't think he's having, like, COVID symptoms, but girl, I'm the mom, okay? Give my son a goddamn COVID test, because I know he got it. I'm just not saying anything. So she was saying that she didn't think his symptoms was COVID related. Like, she was like, oh, his oxygen is at 100%. She checked my oxygen. My oxygen was 99%. I took the COVID test as well, simply because I'm with him. They end up giving him the rapid test and me the rapid test. And they also end up giving us the test that come back in 48 hours. Because the lady was like, once they came back in the room after they took the rapid test out, and was like, you're negative, but your son is positive. I knew he was positive. It was kind of like a moment of realization, like, what? Because even though I thought he had it, I wasn't 100% for sure. And I just immediately felt horrible. Because I would have traded places with my son just like that. I didn't know what extreme the COVID would be for him. And I do know people who had COVID who had very good experiences who are not vaccinated. I know people who are vaccinated and who have passed on. I know people, everybody's experience is completely different. It was just like, in like, oh, what? They was like, okay, well, since you're negative, we're gonna call you in 2 days to let you know if you're negative or positive, because sometimes the person that you're with can be positive and it might not show up for me yet as being positive, even though it said I was negative. So it was a 50-50 chance I could have been. So when they called me back in 2 days, I was still negative, so I didn't get it. When I left there, I went to get my son something to eat just to see if he could still taste, because I knew some of the symptoms, you know, no taste, no smell, and stuff like that. He could taste the chicken, but he really didn't eat the chicken. And my son eats, like, if you follow me on Snapchat, especially him playing football, y'all know he eats, okay? So when he didn't eat it all, I knew then, like, okay, it's like, not as, it's not getting bad, but, you know, the taste is leaving. He came home, took a hot shower. I actually had got some of the vapor rub things you just put in the shower, and it's very good for like opening up your pores and getting like mucus and stuff out. It really helps. It helped with me when I had it, but I'll tell you guys about my experience in just a second. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So I gave him the Vicks Vapor Rub shower little pod to put in his shower. He took a really, really hot bath. I started to give him Theraflu. I started making like little remedies that I knew would help him, like stuff that my mom would do or like my grandmother would do, that the hospital's not going to tell you to do. We kind of got ahead of it for my son. He just slept a lot. He couldn't taste for about 4 or 5 days. Nothing. He couldn't taste anything. He was burning a fever a couple of days. Not too bad. Maybe like 101 at the max. We would immediately get rid of that fever. Every day I would go in the room, I would have on 2 masks. Literally 2 masks. And the mask that the doctors recommend you use that they wear at the hospital. So I had on 2 masks. Every time I would go into the room, I would spray Lysol on his doorknob, in the room, all on his stuff. I would literally go in down in his room and wipe stuff down every day with Pine Sol and Lysol just to clean it up. I changed his sheets and stuff like every day because I felt like it was germs in there. And he was throwing up a lot. He had like a lot of mucus. It was a lot of mucus. Sometimes he said like he had a little trouble breathing, but we had like a little oxygen. So as long as his oxygen wasn't dropping, he was okay. That's because that was like the most, like, one of my worries was his oxygen. Well, I guess from a scale of 1 to 10 for my son experience, I would probably give him like a 5. It was not bad for him like that at all. I would say, sometimes he was laying in bed. I was like, you know what, you need to like get up a little bit, move a little bit so you won't kind of like lose your strength. You need to keep your strength up. Just get up, just walk around a little bit. Just do a little bit of something, kind of sweat it out. Then I would put Vicks Vapor up on his chest and tell him to put on a hoodie so he could sweat it out. And he sweated out a lot of that mucus. So he did pretty good. He had to quarantine, the doctor said, about 14 days. So probably his 10th day is when I started to feel like a little sick, just a little bit of sick. And I was like, when the weather changed, my sinuses may act up. So, I just take a little something, like a little Claritin, girl. Just throw your little Claritin in, you're good. I took a Claritin D and it just didn't stop. Like, I felt very nauseous. I felt like I had to throw up, but I never threw up, if you guys know that feeling. And I never had a fever. I didn't feel like I was sick. I definitely think I had the COVID. The COVID never crossed my mind. And you guys are probably like, well, you had a son in the house. Well, for the times that I did go into my son's room was like when he first woke up, like give him something, some soup or something. Like even though he couldn't taste, he was still eating like soups, hot stuff, because you want to eat a lot of hot stuff. He was eating fruit like oranges and stuff, for vitamin, C, vitamin D and stuff like that. We was giving him stuff for vitamin C, vitamin D and stuff like that. And he was drinking a lot of hot stuff. So we would take that in there like, every 2 hours. I said I was cleaning everything as I was going in there all the time. Like all the time, every day. Sometimes his dad, see, this is the after COVID. I deal with this all the time now, but it's okay. Like, it's not gonna be forever. Khalil would go in there with him. He would always tell us not to come in. He would always say, stay away. Clearly we couldn't, because how could he eat or to take care of him. So we had to go in the room. His dad didn't get it. Kalia didn't get it. I ended up getting it. Maybe, like I said, about 10 days in for him, I had to let his father take over. I couldn't do it anymore. We were all a team here, but you know, a mother's love. Like, I would get up through the middle of the night and just go make sure he was breathing. I would do, not saying that his father didn't, but you know, that touch of that mother love, it hits different, okay? And I was worried about him. But in the back of my mind, I knew he was gonna be okay. I cried a lot of times when I would go in there and I would leave him. I felt like it wasn't fair for me to leave him. I did not want to leave him. And I don't want to cry. Sorry. Sorry, you guys. So sorry. You have to go through this to understand the feeling that is coming over me while I'm talking about this experience. I have two children. My daughter just graduated and is in college. And now my son is in 11th grade. And I'm dealing with him with COVID. He had started off having an excellent school year, playing football. You guys know he's been the quarterback since he was in the 8th grade. Now he's in 11th. So, you know, it was kind of hard for me to see him like, and I know he was defeated because he like loved football, so he wanted to go to football practice. And then I remember him saying like at least 75% of the guys on the football team had caught the COVID. So they basically just shut down the entire football team and had them to quarantine, which I thought was a great idea. You know, was an excellent idea because even if people, let's say for instance, even if some of the people that didn't know they had it or whatever would have caught it, sometimes people don't even have symptoms. So you could easily spread it to someone else and not even know you have it, just like me. So, like I said, 10 days in, I felt sicker that night. On that night is when I caught the fever. At the time, my fever was about 102. So I took like Tylenol for fever. I took a lot of stuff to try to get the fever, you know, break the fever. I put Vicks Vapor Rub on me. I put on a hoodie and I put on sweatpants. Usually I sleep naked, and that's just the honest God's truth. I don't like clothes at all. Like if we could walk around here naked, I would. I hate clothes, literally. Like I will be in my house walking around with shirt and underwear, or I don't like clothes, or like lingerie little stuff, because I don't like clothes. So for me to have to wear a hoodie and some pajama pants, girl, look, I was not here for it. I'm just telling you the truth. I was not here for it. That night was really bad for me. Really, really bad. So basically, I would wake up through the middle of the night and I would have like these chills. And I'm 36 years old. I've never had chills like that before in my life, ever. And no matter what, I was like, I need to get under the blankets. So I got under the blankets, and it just feels like I was freezing. And I was like, okay, let me just go get under the comforter. And like, I already have a thick comforter as it is. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm still free. It felt like an ice box. Like, at least I did, okay? Nothing I did would get me warm. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn on the fireplace in the room, in the bedroom. It did not work at all. The fireplace I have in my room gets so freaking hot, and it still did not break that fever, and I still felt chills. So I don't know, I start to panic because I felt like, oh my God, this is going to be bad. I immediately felt like this is going to be bad. And I think it was at that moment I realized I had COVID. Even though I had not got tested yet, it like my body was saying, girl, you got the COVID. And I knew it deep down inside when I could not get warm. And I knew one of the symptoms was chills. Like you get the chills. You start to get cold or you get really, really hot. So I had the really, really cold chills. And then throughout the nights, it was just horrible. So basically, the next morning, I could not smell. It was gone. I got up to take a shower and I was using my daily bath wash, what I use, and I couldn't smell it. And I felt like it last night with the chills, and now I can't smell. So I didn't even have to go to get tested. I knew I had the COVID. So the second day, my temperature went from 102, because when I woke up it was 102, to like 108. I had never in my life had a temperature of 108 in my life in 36 years. From newborn to 36 years. I was like, what the fuck? Like, how is it possible for me to be this hot but feel so freaking cold? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna still take something. I ain't gonna go to the hospital yet. Like, let me try to beat this on my own. Let me try to do this on my own. Even though I felt like shit. Like, my head hurted. No matter what I took, my head would not stop hurting. And then maybe like later on that evening, my family had ate something and it didn't taste like it originally would taste. And I was like, that's another symptom. I can taste, but it just tastes like old. Like very, very old. It didn't taste fresh and the food was fresh. It just tastes very, very old, like 10-day old food or something. And then later on that night, I started to just throw up. Now, remind you, I did not even eat much. So, what am I throwing up? Because I was throwing up a lot. Like, a lot. Like, it was so bad that I had to put a trash can by my bed because every time I would get up to go to the bathroom, I wouldn't get up quick enough. So, I went through that process that night. The third morning, that was when all hell broke loose. The third morning when I woke up, I started to throw up blood. And that worried me. And I felt very, very weak on the third day. Like when I would get up to walk, it felt like the weight on my body was like burning my ankles. Never experienced that in 36 years. I felt very, very weak. I can't even explain it. We have a bathroom in the bedroom. It's not that far, but when you're living your life regular without COVID, something so close is, you something that may seem a little far is not far. But when you have the COVID, something that seems so close seems so far. What I mean is, I would literally, and I know it is so bad to hold your like when you have to go to the restroom, you need to go to the restroom. Like, don't hold it because that's just bad for your bladder. But I have become so weak that I held my bladder for a very, very long time. Because when I would get up to go to the restroom, I always felt like I was about to pass out. I was so weak. Normally, I can get to our bathroom in like, what, a couple of seconds. Going to the restroom that's in the bedroom would take me about 3 minutes, walking slow so that I wouldn't pass out because I felt weak and dizzy and nauseous. And even though I was done throwing up, it always felt like I had to throw up twice a day. When I woke up and before I went to sleep, because I did not want to go to the restroom. And it was hell for me. Like this was truly hell for me. I had two children. I've had a couple of surgeries, and I had lipo live about 3 years ago when I worked with My Shape Lipo, and it was nothing, like nothing compared to this. Um, this was the worst experience of my life. I literally thought I was dying. If you guys watch my or follow me on Instagram or follow me on Snapchat, I posted that fourth day when it was hell for me, and I said this COVID is gonna take me out of here, and I meant that. And I posted that so you guys could know what was going on. So if something did happen to me, you guys would know it was COVID, because like my family don't know how to get online under my YouTube, or they don't know my information to get into my Snapchat to say, something happened to me, if I were, if I was, to go on. That's why I posted it, to give you guys an update of what was happening to me, because it was hell. And I don't post anything unless that's the real, raw, authentic, true feeling. And that's what I said. When I felt like I couldn't breathe, or like I just could not walk, I, like, we called the ambulance. So I went to the hospital the first day. They didn't even tell me I had COVID the first time I went to the hospital. I went there. I could not walk. I had to get wheelchaired in. That's how weak I was. Took us to this hospital, which was like the worst, because they said they didn't have any beds, so they couldn't keep me. So I had to go home. So that was it. Like, they gave me IV fluid, and then they sent me home. That was it. That's all they did to me. I remember going into the hospital on the ambulance, and I remember them putting me in the chair. They put me in a wheelchair, and I remember sitting in there, and I remember so many people in there were sick. This lady was there screaming. It was horrible. It was horrible. Majority of everybody was that was in there had the COVID. So I always felt like, yeah, you got the COVID, girl, but you don't have nothing saying you got the COVID. So the fact that you're here with these people that they ain't here for the COVID, because when the nurses and doctors coming in, they were saying it like, I'm gonna sit you over here with the COVID people, which is the COVID people. So I didn't sit over there because they hadn't ran all of the tests, but they didn't even run the test on me. They basically sent me home, and they gave me some fluid while I was there. Come back home, I'm more scared because they didn't keep me. I went because I wanted them to keep me, because I felt like they would do better by me than what we were doing, because clearly whatever we were doing, it wasn't working, because I started to feel worse. So I started to throw up blood more and more. My fever was still high. It hadn't went down at all. And then my body just went completely in like a shutdown mode. So if anybody watching me on Snapchat, anybody watching me on Instagram, y'all know your girl be taking baths and showers like 2-3 times a day. Big jacuzzi, like y'all already know. And I could not get up to even take a bath. I had to get like alcohol baths. I could not get up to take a bath for about, this may be too TMI, but I want to give you guys the raw, real truth of what COVID, what I went through. Maybe for about 4 or 5 days, I could not take a bath. I had to take a bed bath, like an alcohol bath. That's the type of bath that I had to take, which was very depressing. I was very depressed. I was very miserable. I had a procedure coming up. I had to cancel it, that I already had paid for. I was preparing for my surgery. My son had a football game. If you guys follow us, you know we're at every football game. It was just horrible. I still couldn't eat nothing. I definitely lost some weight from COVID because I couldn't eat anything. I could not eat anything. I would taste soup, and even soup tastes horrible to me. So I didn't want it. I didn't eat anything. I would get like little oranges. They would even taste like orange. They would just taste like nothing. Like nothing. And then one day my kids had Wingstop. And just this one day, this probably was the fifth day, and I was like, Kalia, get hot so I can see if I can taste it. She brought me a piece of hot chicken from Wingstop, and I could taste it. And it was gone like in an hour. The taste was gone in an hour. That was the weirdest ever. Or in my mind, could you really taste it? But I could really taste it. I really could taste it. I was like, oh my God, call your dad and tell him I can taste it. But I think by the fifth day, my son was gone back to school because my fifth day, I believe, was his first day back at school because he had to go take another test and it was negative for him to go back to school. So I think my fifth day was his first day at school. So I was like, Kalia, because Kalia go to college, but she hadn't left yet. So I was like, call them and tell them I could taste. That was a dub. That was a dub. Because like later on, I couldn't taste anything again. And the chills, the throwing up the blood, the vomiting, the no smell, the burning up, but you're cold, feeling like you can't breathe. Oh my God, because of the mucus. It's like horrible. I still deal with the mucus at night. It's not as bad as it was when I had the COVID, but I still deal with the spitting up the mucus. If I'm talking loud, it's because my ears, for some reason, have not popped. I'm waiting for my ears to pop. It feels like you know how you wash your hair and water gets in your ear and it feels like, you can barely hear, you can hear, but you can't hear clearly? That's what my ears feel like. So if I'm talking loud, that's why. I want my ears to pop. I've blew my nose so many times and it still hasn't popped yet. So I'm just going to wait on it to pop at this point. Um, Anything that could have went wrong. I remember calling my mom and my dad this the fifth day, and I told them like, I love you guys so much. I don't think I'm going to make it. I think this COVID's going to take me out. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry, you guys. I'm gonna have to cut this. I'm gonna have to cut it. I got to cut this. Like I was saying, I called my parents. I told them I thought I wasn't gonna make it, and I had left them plenty behind, so they would be okay. But like my parents don't need me financially. Like my mom worked all her life, my dad worked all his life, and he was in the military. He retired 40 years, so they're good. They don't need me. But because my parents gave me a really, really good life, I like to do for them, and that's okay. They never asked me for anything. Anything that I do it just because that's what I want to do. And so I told them, I said, I left some stuff behind, basically money. So you guys, you're going to be taken care of, whatever. So my parents was like, you're gonna beat this, stop talking like that, giving me words of encouragement, and I just didn't feel it. Because really, when you're going through COVID, it's you and COVID. That's it. You and COVID, that's it. You, COVID, and God. That is it. Your family can help you as much as they can, but it is your body that's taking on. Like, my phone was going off so much, I literally got it and chunked it against the wall. So many people was calling, texting, my friends was coming by my house, putting stuff in my door. People would get it and bring it in, like soup. And, shout out to my friend Acretia. She brought food over here, soup. She brought me my favorite cookies. And, shout out to Danielle, my friend. She came through, bought me so much stuff, many pills and stuff to take. And, people was coming through, showing me so much love, like, that could come to my home. And, like, even you guys. When I got my phone back, man, you guys are freaking amazing. I had on my Instagram DM like 7,000 to 8,000 messages that I just could not go through and read through. But the amount of people that was praying for me, you guys have no idea how much that meant to me when I was opening them DMs and reading them. Now, it is impossible for me to open every DM and read them. I can't. It's impossible. But I could see them. Like, I would click on them. Even though it doesn't say like I accepted them, I was reading them on my Snapchat. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, on my Instagram, I have like 100 and some thousand. But on my Snapchat, I don't know where these people came from. Like, I literally been having like 200,000. That's crazy. I don't even know where these people come from. I don't know. Maybe it's a glitch. I don't know. But girl, it was so many people. Like, y'all are amazing. And that's why I do giveaways. Like, I have a video coming up after this. It's the same. If you see me in the same outfit, it's because I'm going to film more than one video in a day. And it's going to be a giveaway in that video for 3 people. So definitely make sure you subscribe and turn your notifications so you can get into that giveaway. And if you guys are new to my channel, I always do like giveaways to give back, because that's just my way of showing support to you guys. Y'all were so freaking amazing. And the amount of prayers that I got, I felt like when I did start to heal, it came from everybody. You guys, my family, my friends, everybody. Me praying for myself, my family praying for myself. Like, everybody praying for me. Like, I appreciate you guys. Like, you guys have no idea how much that meant to me at that time, that I felt like I was at the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of my life. It started to get so bad, my kids would come into the room, like the lights would hurt my eyes. So I couldn't see. Like, I could not even open my eyes. And I could hear Khalil coming into the room, and I could hear my family coming into the room, bringing me stuff. And I was so weak, I had to feel for stuff. So, like, there's a dresser on each side of the bed. And so if I heard Khalil walking in, and sometimes because Khalil had it, I would throw my hand up like it took so much strength in me to just throw my hand up to my child and say, no, go back, go back, go back, go back. Because I didn't want her in the room. Like, I started to feel like I was dying. I didn't want anybody to come into the room. I didn't want to give my family what I had. And I was just gonna do it on my own. Whether that be I survived or not. I wanted to deal with it by myself. So they did not comply with me. They still came in. I remember one night when I could open my eyes and I called my children into the room, and they had a mask, and I said, I just wanted to look at you guys. I need to see y'all. Kids, I cannot wait to touch y'all. I can't put my hands on your kids. Like, if parents watching me, it ain't a joke. This COVID's not a joke. And I remember looking at my kids. Sorry, y'all. So sorry. And I was just looking at how beautiful they were. But I felt sorry for them. Like, they're going to be taken care of. They're well taken care of when I leave. Just like they're well taken care of here. But I was feeling so sad for them because of my situation. And I stood there and I just wanted to look at them. I just want to look at them. And I remember my daughter telling me, because I had just uploaded that vlog. And I remember my daughter saying something like, Mom, you almost have like 100K views on your video. That made me very, very happy because I was like, man, almost 100,000 people was waiting or watching my video, which made me very, very happy. And I was like, man, there are so many people out in this world that loves me for me. Like, y'all love me for me, just like I love y'all for y'all. That made me feel very good inside. And it was giving me like motivation to like, you can do this. You can do this. Like, even my family talking to me, my mom, dad will call, my dad, y'all know my dad calling every day, texting every day, all day. So it got to the point to where I couldn't even pick up my phone that I had chucked against the wall because so much, it was taking so much out of me to just even roll over to get ice water or roll over to get my tea or roll over the bed or just get up to go to the bathroom. So I don't know, maybe this was like the 8th day, I had to get another ambulance. So the ambulance come get me. I specifically had asked them to not take me to the same hospital. They ended up taking me to the same hospital. So when I get there, now they tell me, oh, you got the COVID. Girl, I've been had the COVID. Y'all like 8 days behind. So she's like, yeah, you have the COVID. You know, and at that time I was still freezing. I remember asking, like, can I get a blanket? Can I get something? I'm freezing. She's like, no, you have a fever. We can't give you a blanket. So I was like, can I get some ice water? I'm so thirsty. I feel like I got to throw up. She's like, no, you can't get any ice water. I'm like, what? Like, I'm literally crying. I'm like, what? So they put me in this room, and this lady, I feel like she was God's gift sent to me at that moment. She came in there and she saw me like shaking. I was like shaking, and she said, would you like a blanket? Yes. She's like, I said, can I get just a little bit of ice water, please? I was like at her mercy at this point. Girl, you gonna give me a blanket, girl? Go ahead and throw me in some water too, sis. And she did. So they took me in the back. They ran the test. They said I had COVID. They gave me some prescriptions, which was some bullshit, and sent me on my way because I didn't have any rooms. And I remember looking at that man saying, if you send me home, I'm going to die. I don't want to go home. I want to stay here. Please find me a room. I remember telling the man, like, if you go to emergency rooms, they have like these beds on the side of the walls. I remember seeing some beds on the side of the wall, and I said, sir, I will stay out. You don't have to put me in a room. You can take care of me in the hallway. And the man, of course, was like, no, we have to have a room for you. We don't have any more beds. So I end up going back home. And it just seemed like I had to give myself strength to get up and do something. And I felt like as I started to get up and move around in the room. And then I will go, because like in the bedroom, you can go outside. So I decided to like go outside. And then the sun would burn my eyes, so I would come back in the house. Like, nope, not today. Maybe another day, not today. So then after that, remember I told you guys earlier, like I would hold my bladder for like basically all day. And I would only go in the morning and I would only go at night. That's basically the only shit I had to give. And even when I would sit down on the toilet, I would feel like I had to throw up. So I was like, you know what? Let me just get up and go to the restroom. Every time I have to go to the restroom. And I hated it, but it was giving me strength. And I remember trying to clean up a little bit in the bedroom. Like the mucus cups. Like the cups that they would bring in the room for me to drink tea and stuff. I would like put it by the door so when they would come in, they could just get it. I remember trying to take a bath, and that was the worst experience ever. So I got in the tub. We have really big, deep garden jacuzzi tubs. Like they're really high on the side and they're deep in the inside and they're huge. Bad idea, sis. Bad idea. I was trying to do a little too much too soon. And I remember getting in the tub. I literally stayed in that tub for like 6 hours. Yes, I did. It was the best feeling ever. And I did. I stayed in there for 6 hours. The problem was not me getting in the tub. The problem was me getting out of the tub. So when I got out of the tub, you know, I don't know how people drive, but like you usually drive up here and then you have to bend your head down to like drive your feet. The moment I bent my head down to drive my feet, I literally fainted. Yes, I literally fell. And I had to call for help to come get me up, butt naked, and put me in my bed. And then I dried off while I was laying down in my bed. So that was a bad experience. Even now, when I take a bath, I still can't put my head all the way down. I have to literally like get on my knees as the water is going out the tub, dry all the top part off. Then as I stand up, I'll dry off as much as I can without putting my head down. And then once I get out of the tub, my feet are dry. So then I'll put my feet in my house shoes and then I'll walk over to my bed. Once I sit down in my bed, then I will dry my feet off because now my feet is up high, like up here by my stomach in the bed versus being all the way to the ground. That's causing me to faint and be dizzy. So still to this day, I have a problem with that, but that's not going to be for long because, you know, this is a temporary setback because even me sitting here talking to you guys, breathing normal, just sitting here in good spirits after everything that I've been through should just let you know that I'm gonna beat this. I do have an asthma pump now. That's one of the things that my doctor gives to me because of COVID. Sometimes I do have a little trouble breathing if I'm walking too far. So that's what the pump is for. But he said only for a couple of months and then I should be good. So when I did have the COVID, after I beat it, because I beat it, okay? I beat it. And I didn't think I was. I remember, if you guys remember the post I posted on Instagram and Snapchat, I said I remember seeing my grandmother so many times in my dreams. And in those dreams, I thought I had gone on. And I remember seeing a baby that I lost. My grandmother was actually holding the baby. And all these years, I never even saw what the baby looked like. And in the dream, I saw the baby. The baby looked at me. I looked at the baby. And it was like a moment in the dream. And I don't know if the dream meant like my grandma was saying, like, she got him. Go on. She's taking care of him. I don't know what that dream means. I tried to wrap it around, but like I said, I thought I was gone with them. And the sad thing about it was I was so happy to see them that when I woke up, I was kind of depressed that I was here still dealing with this. But I knew God wasn't done with me. That's why I'm still here. So I can't really explain the feeling. And it happened more than once. So I felt like maybe this is not good. But then I started to think maybe that's just my grandmother being my angel over my child that I lost. So I started from that moment on, I started to like get up, fix my bed. I still was very weak, but I started to just do stuff. Like, I had hair in, I started to take out my hair. You guys know I have really long hair, so I was letting, I took out the braids in my hair. So I started to do stuff, and I was like, I wonder, could I wash my hair? Like, and it's so crazy because the things that we take for granted, like breathing or singing or just doing stuff for yourself, when you have COVID, it's like, oh my God, the things you take for granted. So I was like, I wonder, could I wash my hair? So then I washed my hair. And when I washed my hair, I felt a little better. And then all of a sudden, it's like my temperature just vanished. Like that temperature 108 after having it for almost 10 days just vanished. And I was happy about that because when that fever went away, little things started to go away, like the throwing up the blood. It went away, just went away. And now I'm back throwing up clear, gray, foggy mucus. The feeling like I had to faint, it just faded away. The dizziness, it just faded away. And I started to feel better every day, every day, every day, every day. And once I was done with like the isolation, I walked back outside. And I remember holding my head back, just taking in the sun, the air, the smell, like to just be able to smell again was a blessing. Stuff that we take for granted every day. Just to be able to open my eyes and see the sun without my eyes hurting was a blessing. So when I post and say I'm blessed, that's what that means. Not financial, not nothing materialistic, just to be able to have a second chance at life. My whole mindset is completely different. I look at things completely different. When I went to the doctor, I remember my doctor saying I had like the worst COVID. He actually said, from looking at my lungs, he thought that I had pneumonia and I got over it by myself. What? So you mean to tell me this whole time I was going to the doctor, I had the pneumonia? Is that what you're saying, Doc? And so he was saying that's what it seemed like from looking at my lungs. Okay. I didn't care about none of that. I was just happy that I was over it. And even though I was over it, I still was having like symptoms like of taste. So I still to today, like orange juice still tastes weird to me, which is one of my favorite drinks, but it just tastes weird to me still. My taste started coming back. The first thing I ate, I remember my family eating a Jersey Mike's sub. And I remember saying, no, don't pick me up anything. I don't want anything because I can't taste anyway. And they ended up getting me like a turkey provolone, cold little cold cut sandwich. And they ended up getting something hot because I was like, I can't taste hot food. I don't want anything from there. And I forgot that Jersey Mike sold cold sandwiches. So They ended up picking up me, like I said, a turkey provolone. I'll go in detail for the people who want to know. It had lettuce, tomato, banana peppers, vinegar, I think it's salt and pepper, and cheese, provolone cheese. That was the first thing I could taste. Y'all, when I bit into that sandwich, I was like, I'm just going to taste it. I know I ain't going to taste it, so whatever. I tasted. Y'all know I don't eat steak or beef or nothing related to beef or pork. Man, and y'all know steak used to be my favorite thing when I used to go out to eat because I don't like a lot of seafood, lobster, and crab and all that shit. So steak was like my go-to meal. When I tell y'all that goddamn turkey provolone sandwich tasted like the perfect cooked ribeye steak, girl, it was so freaking good. I ordered me another one. Yeah, because they had got me like a little mini. I'm like, this mini, I want to order me another one. So I ended up ordering like the smaller one that's like not the giant, but bigger than the mini. And I remember calling like everybody, like, oh my God, I can taste this. Oh my God, I can taste this. I was calling my friend Acretia. She was calling me all the time. You know, shout out to my friend Acretia. She's awesome. Like, she was calling all the time, checking up on me, making sure I was okay, bringing stuff out my house. And I remember calling her like, friend, I could taste this sandwich. And I remember being outside, like on the back of our house, and I was on FaceTime because we only talk on FaceTime every time we talk. And we talk literally all day because she works from home, and you know, so I FaceTime her eating the sandwich, and I'm like, friend, girl, I can taste this goddamn sandwich. Like, girl, this sandwich looks like that. And I remember her just being so happy for me. And everyone that I called, like all my other friends, and I'm sorry for coughing. This is just some of the symptoms that I'm having because it's not like 100% like completely out of my system, but I'm done quarantining, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So everybody was happy for me. I remember calling my mom on FaceTime, my dad on FaceTime. I remember, until you have not went without taste, you have no idea what it's like to be able to taste something after you have not been able to taste at all. Now, if someone is watching this and you have went through COVID, you understand what I'm saying. But girl, that sandwich was so good. I ate it the next day and the next day because I was like on this low carb thing before I started. So I wasn't eating bread, rice, potatoes, anything with carbs. I wasn't eating. Girl, F them carbs. I need to eat at this point whatever tastes good to me. This is what I want to eat. So my everything started to just come back because our home is very long. I remember trying to walk to the kitchen a couple of days and I couldn't get to the kitchen from our bedroom. It took me maybe like 2 weeks to get to the kitchen. I just started going to the kitchen recently. And then I started to walk further on down to like the children's room and then in this room. And I was just happy just to be able to walk in my own home. I didn't go anywhere for 2 weeks. I literally, the first place I went when I left my house for the first time was to get my nails done. Shout out to my nail tech. She's amazing. She offered to bring food. She helped me so much, just with knowledge when I had first got the COVID. And she was texting me all the time, checking up on me all the time. And I really appreciate her for that. So shout out to my nail tech. She is amazing. Such a sweetheart, sweetest girl I've ever met. And she was asking me, because she make me like soup and stuff and bring it to me. But I was so sick that I couldn't even eat anything. So, but it's just a thought that she even offered to bring it to me. So I appreciate her. Like, when you're at your lowest, you appreciate the stuff like, even if you're at your highest, it's still, to me, I feel like it matters the most when you're at your lowest, because you really can see who's really there for you in your corner. And I feel like that's what matters, you know? So shout out to her as well. Like I said, shout out to my friend Acretia, shout out to my family, shout out to my mom, shout out to my dad, shout out to my family for being here for me and taking care of me and putting up with me because I was so depressed and I was miserable. And like I said, this is an experience that I'll never forget. This was the worst experience I've ever been in my life. And like right now, I can walk pretty good, talk pretty good. I'm maybe like at a 95% out of 100. I'm waiting to get off the asthma pump. Got another month or a month and a half now. Mucus is still a problem at nights. I can't taste certain things that has like an orange taste to it, like oranges or orange juice. It's still very faint. I can't really taste it really at all. So hopefully that comes back because I love orange juice. And as far as taking a bath, bathing, that's kind of still a problem. But like I said, I've kind of got it down packed. But I definitely would like to dry off the way I used to dry off. But for now, you know, you got to do what you got to do. So that's what I'm doing for now. And that's pretty much it. As far as, you know, my experience with the COVID, I remember making a joke and I said, you know, son, you know, you're my son. And of course, I was going to come in there and take care of you. I knew I was putting my life at risk, but you're my son. So I wouldn't even second guess it. Like, it is what it is. That's my son. But I remember making a joke saying, oh boy, you took your mama through it. I'm about to die up in here and you was good, you know, just making a joke. And, you know, yeah, and now I look at everything differently. You know, my mindset is completely changed. I'm blessed to even be sitting here talking to you guys for over an hour when I couldn't even talk because of my breathing and my oxygen just a couple of weeks ago. It was horrible for me. And I made it through. A lot of people can't say that. I've lost loved ones from COVID. And I just feel like God is not done with me yet. He's not done with my son yet. You guys watched on Snapchat and Instagram, my son, when I went to the football game, which was the same day I got my nails done. So I did a lot in one day. For my first time leaving, I went and got my nails done. And then I went to my son's game. And I felt like, oh my God, this feels amazing just to even be able to be here at my son's game so he could see me and know that mama's here, baby. I'm here. You know, I'm taking it slow, but I'm here. And to all the people out there who are not wearing your mask, that's not taking it seriously, not taking, you know, the stuff that you need to take to make sure you not get it. But like I said, I was taking everything. I was very precautious and I still got it. So you just never know. Even people that got vaccinated, I know got it. My mom is vaccinated and she had the COVID when I had the COVID. And I didn't know until I was almost done having the COVID that my mom had the COVID, because when my parents was calling me and stuff and I couldn't pick up because I was so weak, they wasn't even going to tell my mom had COVID. It was after I told them after I called them and I was feeling better, that my dad and my mom was like, oh yeah, I have the COVID. But we didn't want to tell you because we knew you was dealing with a lot. So, you know, I'm telling you now. And I was like, okay, Mom, how you feeling? My mom could have been skating on some skateboards in her house or something, girl. She was feeling amazing. So that's why I say it's different for different people. Everybody experience is not the same. Look at my son and then look at mine. His was okay. Mine was like hell. My mom, she's vaccinated and she had a great experience with COVID. It was nothing to her. So, you know, I hear people say, you know, people that's vaccinated, they can't get it. That's not true. People that's vaccinated cannot, you know, die. That's not true. I know several people who have. So I just would like to say for everybody out there who thinks this is a joke, who don't take it seriously, who always out in the clubs around so many people, putting yourself at risk, putting your your other people, putting other people's lives at risk, not only yourself, but your family lives at risk every time you go out to the club. Or there's no amount of money that anybody could pay me to go out to a club to risk my life around a crowd full of people and the COVID still exists. I just could not do that. I don't see how these social media influencers, that's what y'all call it, like, go out to clubs every weekend. I see stuff like that and I shake my head. People are going, like, traveling, like, on planes, and, you know, to each his own. I'm just not about to sit that close to somebody that I'm just not gonna do it. That's just me. That's my way of thinking, and that's just me. Right now, we're in the process, me and my cousins are in the process of planning a trip in November at a cabin, and we're being very cautious, and those are my family, those are my cousins. So we're all, like, gonna take a COVID test like 2 weeks before, just to be cautious and sure of everything. So if you haven't learned anything from this video, just be cautious, precautious, like, do what you need to do so that you can try to prevent yourself from getting COVID. If you think you have any symptoms or anything like that, go ahead and get tested. As you can see, I knew I had it. If you know your body, you know something is wrong. It doesn't take a doctor to tell you you got COVID if you know you're having all these symptoms and all of a sudden, you know, it is what it is. But yes, that's my experience. I wanted to get on here and tell you guys I had so many DMs, so many people asking me so many questions, so I just figured I would put a video out here so it's here so you guys can see it. And my son is doing absolutely amazing. I see a lot of people asking about him, but you guys saw him at the football game, so I'll probably be able to put it somewhere over here. But yeah, they won that game. I think it was 40-something to 12. I'm not sure, but they won. He had no problems breathing. He had no problems, nothing. My son is 100% good. And it just makes me happy to see that we both made it out of this horrible experience. So I love you guys so much. I thank you guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to everybody who sent me I'm praying for you. God got you, sis. My family's praying for you. We love you, sis. I hope nothing happens to you. You know, God angels is protecting you daily, you know, praying for your son, for his strength, for his health. I thank you guys from the bottom of my soul, from the bottom of my heart. You guys are amazing. You guys are here for me, even when I can't even put it into words. I can't put it into words. Like, I feel like all of you guys are God's gift to me, not the other way around. Whatever purpose I serve in you guys' life, whether it's, you know, a lot of you guys call me your auntie, your sister, your friend, your cousin in your head, your best friend in your head, your friend in your head. I'm all of that to whatever you guys want me to be. And I'm thankful to have such amazing supporters. You guys call yourselves fans, but you guys are not fans of mine. You guys are my supporters, and I appreciate you guys. And honestly, you guys are my family. Like, you guys are family to me, and I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much for even watching this video for an hour long. Thank you guys so much for supporting me through this journey on YouTube. Continue to follow me on Instagram and be supportive, liking, commenting. Like, I see everything. I see you guys. I try to reply to almost everyone in the comment section when I upload a video. So I just appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for always watching and turning your notification bell and, you know, just being a real loyal supporter to me and even to my family. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Share this video with anyone who you would like to share it with to inform them of anything, because like I said, everyone's situation is completely different. And I think that's pretty much it for this video. If I forgot anything, I will put it down in the comment section pinned by me, or it will be in the description box on the first line. But that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy my little story time and my experience. And until next time, you guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow your girl on Instagram and Snapchat. They always get first dibs on everything. And I'm gonna beat this. The rest of this little mucus and the what they got me on, this asthma pump, that's the dub. We gonna beat this, y'all. You'll see. So until next time, you guys, bye.
Tell yourself everything that you wanna hear.